welcome to UT Tyler's State of the University Spring 2026. Please welcome to the stage President Julie Filley.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. We're glad that you're here. It's our pleasure to welcome you to our State of the University talk this morning. We plan to kind of hold these meetings annually, and since this is our first one, we really do value your feedback. We want this to be informative and helpful to you, so please let us know how we do today. We want to discuss kind of our momentum and the things we're excited about, the things we built, but we also want to just be practical and talk about the challenges that we face, how we're all in it together, and what we need to do to move this university forward. UT Tyler, let me get the clicker here. We're really fortunate to have each other and some remarkable people across all of our campuses that are help strengthening us. I want you to hear directly from several folks today that's going to reinforce kind of the unified spirit of what we're trying to accomplish here at UT Tyler. And I think by directly hearing from some of our leaders, we can align our efforts and anticipate and understand, again, the challenges, and also celebrate what we're doing across the organization. So these are the folks you're going to hear from. Many of you know Daniel DeLotte. He's our Chief Business Officer. He's going to provide a financial overview of our operations and our finances. Something a little bit also different today is I thought it would be interesting to hear from Dr. Steve Cox. Dr. Cox is a surgeon and the president of our university practice plan. Just as a reminder, we are co-owners of a health system, 9 hospitals and 100 clinics that he's going to talk a bit more about and talk about the opportunities ahead. You're going to hear from Catherine Lake, our Chief Strategy Officer, as we elaborate on our strategic plan initiatives and our progress. And I also just want to point out one name that's not on here, and that's Dr. Barbara Hawes, our Provost and Chief Academic Officer. We've had some real scheduling challenges, and due to some last-minute travel changes, she's not able to join us today. We're going to try to cover her topics, but we just want to remind you that she is really the voice and the face for our curriculum and our faculty operations. And she will be sharing also more information at the next academic town hall, which is scheduled for 11:15 on Wednesday, March the 18th. It's hard to imagine that it's been about a year ago that we launched our strategic refresh of our strategic plan. And we've been focused on advancing these 3 priorities, and thank you for committing them into your heart and into your mind too. Student success, teaching excellence, and service to East Texas. And as a reminder, this pertains to our academic campus. We have a separate health partnership with UT Health East Texas, and they also have a comprehensive strategic plan that outlines our goals and outcomes for patients. We have several examples that I'm going to discuss about our priorities, and I just want to remind you that this is not a year in review, and this is not a meeting just to highlight all of our progress. But I do just want to tell you that our students are doing great. You know it because you live it every day. We have 3 students here that I've kind of highlighted. Several of us actually in the room got to be at the NCAA meeting in Washington, D.C. this year, where I walked in, I registered myself, and there's UT Tyler banner with Sam Schott listed as the NCAA Woman of the Year. It was quite impressive and a moment I'll never forget. Also, first in our history, Luke Schwartz is representing the entire University of Texas system as a student regent. We've never had this in our history. This is exciting. We also have students winning competitions through multiple venues, but I just highlighted just one picture of Fire AI that had launched a new AI-driven fire initiative to detect fires and won a big competition. And you see this every day. These students are amazing. They certainly are ahead of the game of where I remember to be when I went to the university, and we should remember that everything we do is about helping them succeed, and many of them are doing so. Thank you. We can't help students succeed without our faculty and the staff that supports them. I hear from students every day the impact that faculty make on their lives. And I still believe, and I know you do too, that the meaningful experiences that we have one-on-one with some of these students change their lives forever. And I see that we're succeeding in this too. We have awards for the Rhoda, the Regents Outstanding Teaching Award. We have members in the Shine Academy through our long history. And we have coaches that get inducted into the Hall of Fame for the NCAA and have winning teams. These are just small examples of what you do every day. And as we commit to teaching excellence, we have to hold each other accountable to continue this tradition. And all of this results in building trust across East Texas. And we're seeing this. We're seeing that there's multiple ways that UT Tyler serves East Texas, and our region has noticed, and they are supporting us. Even just as an example of this, I just put this check on the slide here to show that we received $5 million in support, and it's ongoing to start things like dementia and Alzheimer's clinic. And this clinic's been stood up within a year and is fully staffed with much needed specialists. And I could give so many examples of civil engineering and speech therapy and all the education and business things that are ingrained. But I just also want to tell you that getting out of these walls and being in our communities across the region is noticed, it's appreciated, and then it builds trust and people invest in us. And I'm inspired by it every day. What this leads is to some exceptional academic outcomes. Again, pass rates that result in people getting jobs and moving on with their careers, people wanting and seeking out UT Tyler as a first choice because of some of the test scores that we have. And again, highlighted on the screen are just some of the many, but I'm especially proud of things like pharmacy, 95% pass rate, well above the national average. And it's a big deal. And ranking third amongst public institutions for our CPA exam. These things are being talked about across the state. Just moving on, thinking about our strategy and how that translates into our master plan here on campus. Again, practically, this map shows kind of our plans and the timelines for when we hope to begin construction on some really important things. One thing I'll point out to you is that next week I'll be at the Board of Regents. We will be presenting what we're calling the Campus Gateway, which is really the main entrance into the campus that we discussed at convocation. You can see down here the yellow line, that's university, and Souls College of Business is that first building right there. I'm not able to point to it, but that is going to be in the first tranche of projects that you're going to see us start. We had hoped to build out the fourth floor of the Souls College of Business to house our registrar and admissions and other things. It's not big enough. So we are still going to build out the fourth floor of that building for educational purposes and for faculty and for classrooms to serve students. But we're going to be rethinking a new welcome center in the upcoming months, and we'll be providing more information about that. It's just time. The other things that we're thinking about is, again, how do you access the campus? All roads seem to lead to dead ends right now, and we're thinking about housing for students. And so what you can see up there by the baseball diamond is new dorms. And that project, we hope, will go to the Board of Regents in May, and you can kind of see some of the timelines for when we would hope to begin construction on that. And then some of the other buildings will be a refresh and renovations to our existing space. And many of you live in those buildings and know that this is desperately needed. We've talked several times about, as part of the Campus Gateway, that we need a safe way to access university in combination with the Grand Insurance that we can be proud of. This is the newest rendering of the possible sky bridge that would allow all of us to walk across the campus. And this is going to evolve and change. This is not what it will look like, but every time we meet, if I have it, I'm going to send you kind of updated renderings for what this could possibly look like. You can already see that it kind of ties into maybe something across the street. That's not the Souls College of Business. That might be a proposed new building that we are not, that we have not constructed or have permission to build. But we're thinking about how this will all tie together, how it will light up at night, how we can encourage each other to walk more and how our students can safely get across the street. The great news is that TxDOT has funded us for this project. It's about $17 million that would allow us to build this bridge and create a walking path around our campus. Again, it's very early in the process, but I do want you to know that we work for grants and other things so that people can help us with these big construction projects. Also in construction, the medical education building, the med school, is located in the medical district, close to downtown in the hospitals. This is a sneak peek of the inside of the lobby, and it's beautiful, and we'll be hosting our holiday parties and other things so that you'll be able to see it. But I do want to tell you we will be celebrating a community open house on April the 25th. You are all welcome to come and see the building, bring your families. This is a real source of pride. Again, 250,000 square feet, split between clinical services like operating rooms and places to see patients, and then split, the other half is the medical school proper, anatomy labs, classrooms, etc. Shifting gears before I toss the mic, beyond the facility and campus improvements, we continue to invest in the student experience on this campus. More soon from Catherine and others on this. I'm thinking about how athletics and other things like the arts can be the front door to our university and to our students. Thank you to Dr. Sam Ferguson and his team for leading the charge to make athletic events fun. Last night I participated in a Simon Says contest and I did not win. It's just difficult for me to follow directions sometimes. But the fun that is had by the pep band and other things, it's real and it's palpable. And the best part is that the entire student section was full. That's the most important part, and it's exciting. We're seeing men's basketball attendance up 35% from last women, and women's basketball's climbed to an impressive 65%. And so please just come out, enjoy the games, and have a good time. And the same thing is true for the arts. Our Center for Performing Arts through UT Tyler is doing some amazing work, both through musical shows, performances on the stage with our students. I encourage you to support them and to be with them, but I also want you to remember that the room that you're in, this Cowan Center, is the cultural hub of East Texas. It truly is. And the work that's being done here to bring in a better caliber of artists is pretty impressive. The leadership has done a wonderful job. Some of you know we brought in Randy Rogers Band, Ryle Kratz, John Chris, lots of different types of people. But this center is for East Texas. It is for us. It is for our students. And we're working very hard to open this facility as a gateway to our community and to our campus. And if there's ways you think we could do that in a better way, we'd like to do that. This meeting is meant to provide updates and be informative. It's operational. It's not meant to be a convocation or just a pep talk. But I just want you to know I wake up every day excited to be here. I just love working here. I love working with you. I like seeing our students succeed. And we are in it together. We do have to get to some business, so I'm going to turn it over to Daniel to provide some insight on our financial structure.
Well, thank you, Dr. Philly. Before I get started, let me just say thank you. I was listening to what Dr. Philly had to say about how transformative this institution is and how inspiring it is. And I remember the day that I walked into this campus as a student many, many years ago. Like many of our students, a first-generation student, and it is the honor of my life to stand before you as the Chief Business Officer of this great institution. I never thought that would be something possible in my life, but it's the result of the faculty and this institution and the investment they made in my life. And so I look at who I refer to as my dean, Neil Gray, who and his faculty made such a difference in my life. So thank you. Many of those faculty have retired, but there's a few still here, so I hope I do you proud today. Couple things, really, before we talk about the business of our institution. It's really hard for us to talk about our finances without really reflecting on who we are. And this institution, as you all know, is very different than it was just a few years ago, and certainly different than it was when I first walked on this campus. Today, we are a unified academic and health enterprise, and we span multiple campuses. We have a health science center, and we have a health system. And together, we operate under a shared brand, a shared reputation, and the reality of a shared financial reality. What affects one of us affects all of us. And this is a strength. There's many ways that you can think how complex this is and how difficult this is as an organization, but it is a strength. If you look at modern universities across the United States, those that are doing well are those that are complex like this. They have lots of diversity, they have lots of opportunity to make a bigger impact. And so I think it's amazing that we have this, and we're not what many would think of as just a regional campus anymore. We are big and we are complex, and it's exciting. And so as you can imagine, the business of the university is also complex. People often ask me, how are we funded? And I would generally tell people lots of ways. There's no single source of revenue that explains all of what we have or tells our full story. Our revenue comes, as you can see, from lots of different areas. It comes from patient care, it comes from tuition fees, from philanthropy, from state appropriations, just a wide range of dollars. This diversity of revenue is a strength also. When we talk to accreditors, and as I go do accrediting visits at other universities as the financial person, when you see this kind of diversity, you see a university that is strong, that can sustain itself, that can have a long and productive future. And so I'm excited to see these numbers. These numbers are actually very helpful. There's lots to look at there, but together, these revenues represent a little over $710 million in expenditures that we will make this fiscal year across both the university and the Health Science Center, and even much larger scale on our health system. I don't have those numbers up here today, but the health system itself is $1.3 billion of expenditures. Just a really large impact that we're having across East Texas. But everything we have, and if you've been in any of our finance meetings, you've heard me say this before, but everything we have, we've been given and entrusted to by others. Our students trust us and their families with their tuition dollars and with their futures. Our patients trust us with their resources in their very life. Donors trust us with their gifts and their good names, and the people of Texas have trusted us with this institution and their tax dollars. And it's our job to be stewards of those resources and spend every dollar we can to the highest and best purpose. And so when people ask me, so where does the money go? This is two ways we look at it. These are the same numbers, just cut different ways. And so on the left-hand side, on the orange bars, you're gonna see where we spend our money by function. On the right-hand side, on the blue bars, it's just that same dollars, but categorized by what it takes to accomplish our mission. And so you can see very quickly that roughly 2/3 of every dollar we receive goes directly to instruction or academic support and patient care, directly to the areas of our mission. Roughly 2/3 of every dollar we spend goes to people. And you can see that on the right-hand side. And that includes our faculty, our clinicians, staff across the institution. And this is not unusual. Higher education, healthcare, they're both fundamentally about people, the people we serve and the people it takes to do that. And so our success as an organization really will depend moving forward on attracting, retaining, and supporting the very best people we can find, the most talented people out there. And so when I look at this, I see that the majority of our resources are deployed where they matter the most, teaching our students, caring for our patients, and supporting the people who do both of those things. The reality is we've got, if you've been in any of our finance meetings, you've also heard me talk about headwinds and tailwinds. So we have some really great things going on about the environment that we operate in, and there's some challenges we have ahead of us too. So first, the good news. Texas is strong. East Texas is strong. They're both growing from a demographic perspective, and the economy is great. Those are good things for us because as we grow, employers come to us and say, look, we need people to work in our places of business, and we need highly educated workforce, whether it's in business, in education, in our public school systems, whether it's in healthcare, you name it, employers need more of what we're producing. We also benefit from incredible support, and you heard this from Dr. Philly a little bit earlier, but I've never seen the donor community respond as strongly as they are right now. We have an incredible amount of support from the Board of Regents, and the legislature and our state leadership is being incredibly supportive through appropriations and through funding of our institutions, and so we're grateful for that. We're also seeing through the good work of everybody in this room, enrollment is up, semester credit hours are up, patient volumes, you're going to hear from Dr. Cox here in a moment, those are up. overall, what I see is that there is a growing demand for UT Tyler and what we offer. We are a first choice institution now, which is exciting. And what we are producing, the market is demanding. And so these are really great conditions for us to be operating in. And it's really counter to what you're probably hearing in the news about higher education across the country. And what I would tell you, our view of that is, it's because this is a very special place and we're doing some things right, and we're excited about that. It's all not great. We do have some challenges ahead of us. I think one of the biggest ones that we see right now is that higher education is changing. The needs and expectations of our students and our employers are changing. They're different today than they were yesterday, and they're going to be different tomorrow. Students and their families, if you look at all the national polling, if you talk to students, which you all do every day, those students and their families are behaving more like consumers than they ever have before in terms of their interaction with higher education. They expect flexibility, they want transparency, they want a return on investment. Many of them are telling us they don't want the traditional academic schedules that have been what has defined higher education for really much of the last century. What's interesting is how fast these changes have come upon us. You know, we used to talk theoretically about how this might change and how higher ed might change, but it is not theory. They are here. It is now. I know our enrollment folks see this every day when they talk to these students, and this is what they're looking for. At the same time, from a business perspective, we have experienced tremendous growth, and you all know that. That has led to increased revenue, which we're very grateful for. That allows us to fuel the work that the institution does. But we have seen that our expenses have risen at the same pace as that growth that we've received coming into the organization. And so in the short term, that might work, right? We're going to invest and build the organization as we start to grow. But over time, when we grow that revenue, grow our expenses as fast as we grow our revenue, it does put pressure on our cash flow. And that cash flow matters. It matters if we want to invest in our people. It matters if we want to invest in our infrastructure on our campus. Our success financially as an organization really will depend on our willingness to change, honestly, rapidly, to meet these new changing demands in higher education and modernize the way we deliver our mission. It's things that we think about, I know you do every day, but things we think about on the business side of, hey, can we open our schedules more to increase access? Can we shift to more flexible schedules, multiple starts, year-round offerings, shorter class cycles, the things that our students are asking us to do? On the healthcare side, can we see one more patient today? Can we say yes when that patient says, can I please come see you today? Can we open up the schedule? If we can say yes to these kinds of questions, we will increase access to our students and to our patients, and we will bend the cost curve at UT Tyler. And so I'm excited about that moving forward. Let me just talk briefly about moving forward and kind of where we on the business side see the institution heading. The first is you're going to hear us repeat things like scale a lot. You're going to hear us talk about that, yes, our growth is good, but finding ways to grow that are also sustainable. So I mentioned just a moment ago that expenses are increasing at the same rate as revenue and that we have to change that trend. One of the ways we do that, and I know that this is where we're going to get a little nerdy. So one of the ways we do that is obviously through things like the recent conversion to PeopleSoft Share. And I know that was a big lift for a lot of folks in this room. I want to thank Gracie and the HR team and Isai and the IT team and our entire staff in the finance division for making sure that was successful. I've heard from many of you that so many of our processes on this campus and on the Health Science Center campuses are slow and they are manual. And I agree with you. Our challenge had been we did not have the technology backbone to be able to move those things into automation. We do now with PeopleSoft Share. And that system and other upgrades are going to allow us to bring additional efficiencies to processes around the campus that are currently manual. I'll mention some work that's being done in HR, even now, that over the summer to be able to launch new processes that'll take things out of the manual space and make them much more automated so you guys can get about the business of what you want to do. You can teach and you can work with students and patients and spend less time on paperwork. We're working through those things, but this is the technology that allows us to do that. I also want to say, just briefly, and introduce a new member of our team. Aaron LeMay has joined us as our Chief Financial Officer and is fast at work modernizing our finance division, particularly our processes and systems. So there's much more to come there, but I would just say, Aaron, the expectations are very high, and the people in this room need some help. So the second big area of investment you're going to hear from us is really around capital investment. And I think the next chapter for UT Tyler really will include just an amazing transformation of our physical assets. You heard from Dr. Philly a little bit earlier some of the early projects that are already in the queue. So things like the campus gateway, the rebuilding of the fourth floor Souls, those kind of things. But many more are coming. Let me just run a couple by you real quick. We have plans this summer to add parking to this main campus. Almost 300 new spots on this campus that'll be built over the summer. So you can apply, yes, clap, this is great. Good for students, good for faculty, but it is a big effort to try to figure out where do we put those, how do we get it done, and what we've challenged the team to do is big bang approach, get it done over the summer. Have it done and get it done quickly, so you'll see that happening. We're going to be bringing phase 1 of a residence hall to the Board of Regents for approval in May, and we expect the first 400 beds to be complete by the fall semester in 2028. Now that sounds like a long way away. That is incredibly fast to build a dorm. And as soon as we finish with that first phase, we intend to bring a second phase for another 400 back to the Board of Regents as well for more campus housing for students. This summer, we will start on over $30 million worth of deferred maintenance projects across all of our campus locations here in Tyler, the Health Science Center, Longview, Palestine, you name it. We've got a lot of work to do. We're grateful to the Board of Regents for that investment. There's more coming on that, but the first $30 million starts this summer. Later this year, we're beginning a project to add additional inpatient beds at our Health Science Center location so that we can better serve East Texans, particularly those with psychiatric needs and mental health conditions. And then we have 3.2 million square feet of facilities across the university. And the most important thing we can do is take care of what we have and use it to its highest potential. And so what you're going to see from us over the next 12 to 18 months is at almost every Board of Regents meeting, bringing them a proposal to renovate and modernize those 3 million square feet of our facilities, to add classrooms, to add lab space, to add faculty offices, to add space for students to be successful. We think with 3 million square feet, we have a lot to work with. It's just in its original and charming condition. So we need to try to bring it to a place that's a little bit more modern for our university and that works better for you and our students. So altogether, that long-range capital plan, it reflects hundreds of millions of dollars of investment in this institution. And I would be remiss if I didn't say that is all supported by the Permanent University Fund and the Board of Regents of the University of Texas system. It is incredible, the support that we have there. But those investments are critical. We have to have them. If we can't have them, we can't grow, and so we're excited about that. One last little comment that I'll make about growth is just to say that not all growth is equal. We have been growing at a rapid pace, but you'll hear more about this from Catherine in a moment, and I know from the provost as she does town halls. But going forward, you're going to see us take a very intentional approach to what kind of growth we attract to the campus. Today, just to give you a little did you know, it costs us roughly $1 million to start up a new academic program. And that's because we have to invest in faculty, we have to invest in equipment, we have to invest in staff. And for the first several years, we really don't get revenue for those new programs. The formula funding from the state lags when we start, just the way that works. It takes a while to get tuition and fees in the door. And so that $1 million investment is significant. And I talked earlier about our need for cash flow. It's because we have to have cash flow to make those kinds of investments. You're going to see us focus those on investments on programs that are directly aligned with what our students are demanding, what their families are expecting, and what the needs of Texas and East Texas are. And you're going to find us try to look for things that are sustainable. So there's going to be a lot of great ideas that come forward, and you're going to hear us asking maybe different questions that have been asked before about sustainability and about long-term plans for the programs. But I truly believe if we do it well, we can continue to grow, we can continue to invest, we can continue to deliver on that mission for decades to come. And so as I close and pass the mic over to Catherine, let me just say, I think we are growing because people really do believe in what we're doing here at UT Tyler. And our faculty, our staff, the community, committed in ways that I've never seen to supporting this institution and our faculty and making sure our students are successful. And so I'm proud to be your Chief Business Officer. Our goal is really to take the responsibilities that we have seriously. And I'll just say that we do have work to do. It's more than just, as Dr. Philly mentioned, this is a practical business meeting where we have tasks ahead of us. We have work to do, I think, particularly on things like improving cash flow and achieving scale. But the ingredients are all there. We have the right things in place. We have the right people, you all in this room, to make that happen. And I'm excited. And I think there's never been a better time to be right here at UT Tyler. And so thank you for what you do. Thank you for letting me have a moment to just talk with you today, and I'm always happy to help if you need anything. Thanks.
Good morning. For the record, I am not Catherine Lake, but I will follow next. President Philly, I just want to thank you for your leadership and the opportunity to share this update. It really is an honor. I'm Steve Cox, and in my role in the School of Medicine and on our clinical faculty practice plan, I get to work with the people who are delivering care today and the people that we're training to deliver it tomorrow. And my main goal this morning is simple, is to give you a very clear and practical update on UT Health East Texas, our academic health system, how it came together, and why it matters. And I'll connect it directly to the themes that you heard from President Philly: student success, teaching excellence, and serving East Texas. Because in health, UT Health East Texas is one of the main ways that we deliver on all three. So here's what's driving our work in health across Northeast Texas. The Health Science Center, as you know, has been the academic medical center for our region for decades, leading in clinical care, in research, and education. And for many years, we have been looking for the right way to expand, to serve more patients, and to grow our training programs. And to accomplish this, we needed a broader clinical enterprise. ETMC, once a cornerstone of care in East Texas, needed new scale and investment by the mid-2010s. And just as we, the Health Science Center, were pursuing expanded clinical services and medical training, this set the stage for a shared vision to strengthen healthcare across the region. So in 2018, that vision took shape. UT Health East Texas was formed as a joint venture partnership between Ardent Health Services and UT Health Science Center at Tyler. This brought the legacy ETMC system into one unified enterprise with shared governance, a shared brand, and a shared academic affiliation that supports research, education, and community health. And here's the point: the health system isn't separate from what we're doing here today, what UT Tyler is building. It's the foundation that makes training, access, and regional impact possible. So today, that enterprise, UT Health East Texas, includes a very broad regional footprint. We have 9 hospitals across Northeast Texas. Anchored in Tyler, we have a Midtown campus, our North campus, a rehab hospital, and then reaching communities like Henderson, Quitman, Jacksonville, Carthage, Athens, and Pittsburgh. And it's not just buildings, not just beds, it's capability. You might not know we have the only region's level 1 trauma center, 2 freestanding emergency rooms, urgent care centers, and an EMS system with 65 ambulances and 4 helicopters. Unbelievable. This map shows our reach, a primary service area of about 1.3 million people, more than 90 clinics, and recent additions here locally like the West Loop Clinic and an expanded Three Lakes facility. And just as Daniel outlined, scale and sustainability matter, and we do take stewardship seriously because it directly supports students, patients, and long-term capacity. So our health system, 4 headlines from 2025, 35,000 admissions, 161,000 emergency room visits, more than 700,000 provider visits across the system, and about 7,000 employees. So this is the scale that makes clinical training and significant clinical research possible. And that's why this university health system partnership really matters. And to support this growth, our clinical faculty has expanded dramatically. We've grown from fewer than 100 clinical faculty in 2018 to more than 360 clinical faculty appointments today, with a provider group now of more than 600. We're growing not only in number, but we are truly attracting top-tier clinicians and clinician scientists from across the country. Through the health system, we also offer on-the-job training through our graduate medical education programs, GME programs. These are residency and fellowship training programs that we have. These are paid positions that follow or come after medical school. They last from 3 to 7 years. And these are preparing physicians in areas from surgery to cardiology. We've also grown in our GME training programs from 3 programs in 2018 to 22 different programs, residencies and fellowship programs today. From roughly 30 residents and fellows in training in 2018 to today, 230 residents and fellows training right now. And we believe that that's how we keep talent here in Northeast Texas. If they learn here, they live here, they will serve here. Now, a quick snapshot of strategic growth aligned with community need. Behavioral health and psychiatry, because we know mental health access is a persistent regional gap. In women's health, continued growth in services and training. And nursing externships supports our nursing workforce by helping students build confidence, strengthen skills, and often it leads to smoother transitions into full-time nursing roles after graduation. And dementia care. As President Filley mentioned, the Dementia and Alzheimer's Center is now open on the North Campus. And here's just one impact point. In less than 5 months, the clinic has seen close to 400 new patients, an immediate reflection of unmet need. This is just one example of what we can do quickly as a health system with extraordinary community support and engagement. Next, I want to talk about simulation and readiness, because advanced care requires advanced medical teams. And the headline here is our helicopter simulation. Pretty amazing, the HeliSim on the Health Science Center campus. What this does, it gives teams the experience of caring for critically ill and injured patients in a helicopter, an actual helicopter environment, from takeoff to landing. And in our rural areas, that readiness can be the difference between timely life-saving care and significant delay. So one consistent theme in our rural outreach training is training East Texans here in East Texas through accessible, workforce-ready programs and hands-on simulation. And that commitment is taking a major step forward as UT Tyler launches a physician assistant program based in Longview. The first class expected in 2027, expanding the rural healthcare pipeline across Northeast Texas, and it's a clear example of intentional growth. So I'll close with the big picture. UT Health East Texas, created in 2018, has become the clinical foundation for the academic health system we are building here at UT Tyler. It is what makes the School of Medicine, our residency and fellowship training programs, and clinical research possible. So our direction is clear: grow the workforce, expand access, and improve outcomes. And we have every reason to be optimistic about what's ahead, proud of what we are building together in East Texas. And with that, I will turn it over to the real Catherine Lake to share how our strategic plan is guiding intentional growth across the university. So, thank you.
You're good. Thank you, Dr. Cox. To be clear, you got to hear from the better looking, smarter Catherine Lake, and now you're stuck with me. I apologize. So first of all, good morning. Thank you for coming out this morning. I know Friday morning is a end of the week, and you're looking forward to the weekend, so thank you for your time. You've heard about our financial outlook and our health system, our master plans, What I want to do now is step back and talk about direction. I won't go deep into academic tactics, as you heard Dr. Haas will do that in her town hall on March 18th. Today, I want to talk about broad alignment, about where we're headed as one institution, academic and clinical, and how our choices over the next few years will determine whether we simply grow or we truly strengthen. A strategic plan is not a document. It is a series of disciplined decisions. If strategy is a series of disciplined decisions, then one of the most important decisions we are making is this: we will define success by excellence, not by volume alone. Our enrollment growth over the last several years reflects the work of many people who have worked incredibly hard to earn student trust. That growth did not happen by accident. It happened because of excellence, and thank you to the many people who are a part of that. But enrollment growth by itself is not a strategy. Excellence is the strategy. Our focus cannot be enrollment growth in isolation. It cannot be research growth in isolation. It must be excellence in everything we do, especially in how we serve our students. Intentional growth means growth aligned with our mission, growth matched to our capacity, growth that strengthens student outcomes, and growth that serves East Texas workforce needs. Enrollment opens the door. Excellence determines what happens next, and what happens next is what defines us. Our leadership searches reflect that philosophy. We are not hiring caretakers, we're hiring culture builders. Leaders who understand that strategy is lived daily in how decisions are made, how expectations are set, and in how teams collaborate. Current searches include a Vice President of Student Affairs and Dean of Students, a Dean of the School of Education, a Dean of the School of Nursing, a Dean of the School of Health Professions, and we are actively interviewing for several of these roles now. But I want to sincerely thank our interim leaders, Dr. Ferguson, Dr. Ruel, Dr. Gray, Dr. Chilton, Dr. Kipiros, for their steady service during this transition. I'm also excited to share that Dr. John Welty Peachy joins us March 1st as our first Associate Provost for Faculty Affairs, and Dr. Amy Dennis has been appointed Permanent Superintendent of the University Academy. But to be clear, these hires are not about filling boxes on an org chart, and we will not fill any of these roles until we find the people we think are worthy of you all and of where we're dreaming to go. They are about strengthening our institutional backbone. At Convocation, Dr. Philly made it clear that education would be a central focus for this year. Building on that commitment and informed by feedback from faculty, staff, and community partners, we are transitioning the School of Education into a standalone entity this fall. That move allows sharper focus, clearer identity, and deeper alignment with the workforce needs of our K-12 schools in East Texas. At the same time, we are bringing together psychology and counseling across the academic campus and the Health Science Center into the School of Health Professions. This is not about elevating one area at the expense of another. It is about strengthening both. Education gains focus and visibility. Psychology gains integration, scale, and stronger clinical alignment. Both disciplines are essential to the region we serve, and this structure positions each for deeper investment, broader impact, stronger service to our students and the communities that rely on us. Now, a few updates on the 3 pillars of our strategic plan. First, student success. Student success can and should be objectively measured. Across Texas, funding is increasingly tied to outcomes. This is already the case for our community college partners, and that reality is coming for universities as well. But here's the important part about performance-based funding. This is not a shift in our mission, this is an affirmation of it. If we are doing what we have already committed to do, creating engaging student environments, strengthening advising, clarifying pathways, supporting teaching excellence, and removing barriers to persistence, The funding metrics will take care of themselves. Performance-based funding adds urgency, but it does not change who we are. If we stay disciplined, student-centered, and outcome-focused, the alignment between mission and resources flows naturally. The second pillar of our strategic plan is teaching excellence. If student success is the outcome, teaching is the engine. Research matters, service matters, clinical excellence matters. But if we want stronger retention, stronger completion, stronger workforce outcomes, it begins in the classroom. This fall, our Teaching Excellence Task Force has been hard at work beginning to define what teaching excellence means for UT Tyler in clear, actionable terms. And this spring, they will conduct a listening tour to gather faculty input across the institution. Because this cannot be defined in isolation, it must reflect the expertise, experience, and commitment of our faculty. Teaching excellence at UT Tyler will be defined, it will be measured, and it will be supported, and it will be celebrated because you all are excellent, and we want to elevate that in every way. Dr. Haas is also taking a thoughtful look at workload alignment to ensure our time reflects our priorities. When faculty is supported and recognized for great teaching, students thrive. And when students thrive, everything else follows. Our third pillar, service to East Texas. Service for us is not abstract. It is practical, it is measurable, and it is local. It is not defined by how many committees we sit on, but by whether our work meaningfully improves the lives of people in East Texas and across this state. The main message I want everyone to take away from this is excellence is not a slogan for us. It is the work. It is who we are. And together, we will continue building a university that lives up to that promise. Thank you guys very much for your time.
Well, thank you, Dr. Cox, Daniel, and Catherine. And as we end the near of our time, I don't want to take an opportunity just to plug a few things that are also going to be going on. Homecoming is upon us. We're trying to make it bigger and better than ever. We want to see our students, faculty, staff, alumni, community all come and enjoy the festivities of what we'll be doing on Patriot Plaza. We'll be actually featuring Texas Red Dirt country star Casey Donahue, followed by fireworks and the drone show. It's one of the best in town. And then, of course, we'll have our traditional crawfish barbecue, tailgating, softball, midnight breakfast, all the fun things, the Met Gala, performing arts that are associated with homecoming, so mark that down. I also wanted to tell you that UT System Chancellor Dr. John Zerwas will be visiting our campus March the 25th. We're excited to host the team from Austin, and we'll be announcing that in ways you can be involved. Also, I received actually an email, it's just trivia, that he'd like to come to a softball game in May, so we'll look forward to hosting them again on our campus. We've just never had this amount of excitement and input at UT Tyler, and it's really exciting to watch. Thank you, Jeff Noblet. He wanted to make sure that you know that the iconic Bob Dylan will also be right here at the Callan Center for a sold-out concert on April 29th. It's going to be fun. So this morning was designed to inform you, to give you some clarity and some insight into what's going on with our strategic initiatives and our business plan, the challenges we face, and the strategies that we need to address the problems that we have. We can't cover everything, but some of these are from you, these frequently asked questions, and some I just came up with myself. But I want to directly address a couple of things, and one is, are we going to get raises this year? It's already February. And I know this is important, but we're just not even 6 months into our fiscal year. Again, that runs September to September, so it's too early to tell or to commit. But this remains our top priority. I think it is so important that we stay ahead of this as much as we can. So please know that we're making plans to prioritize that, if at all possible. Daniel mentioned this, but parking. We know we need it. We're looking at short-term ways to provide those 300 spots by the fall, but we're also looking at new parking garages and how we're going to address parking on the campus. And I would just ask all of us as employees, if we truly mean it, that we've got to put students first, especially during the first few weeks of classes, we're going to have to take the hits ourselves and walk a little bit and park across the street. Housing is still a problem, and I don't know how to go faster. We have to build our own and take care of it and build what the students want and need. We are partnering, with others in the region, and we want for students to know that there are alternatives to just living on campus, but it's just going to take time, and I don't know of another way around it. We're going to go as fast as we can. Another thing that comes up is transportation between campuses, a campus shuttle. And I had received some good plans for something that we may be able to do between some of our campuses. We're currently reviewing the options. We are keeping in mind whatever we do has to be sustainable and reliable. So there's going to be more to come on that. And then on food service, we're evaluating vendor options. Our goal is to provide a partner who can deliver quality and reliability to the students we serve. We love every employee that's currently on this campus and value them as part of our UT Tyler family. And so we look forward to new ways to improve food service in the future. As we close, I just want to tell you how I'm utilizing my own time for the mission of UT Tyler and how we're trying to ensure meaningful work in East Texas. I am trying my very best to get out there and tell our story to anyone that will listen. Austin, DC, doesn't matter. I'll go any place at any time to try my best to provide the resources and to build trust across the state of Texas, because what we do here at UT Tyler matters. We have got to drive progress in rural initiatives, whether it's health, education, or just problems. We have got to be the lead for rural initiatives. We have to continue to build trust with donors. You need more support, and I know that, and we will do everything we can to help. Also, we have to represent ourselves at the state and federal level. And that means that they have to know who we are and how committed we are to our students and our patients. And then we also have to retain and recruit top talent. It's not simply enough just to post something and hope that people will come to us. We actually have to go and seek out talent and tell them why it is a very special point in time to be associated with this university. Many universities are on the struggle, and we have an opportunity to be different than what any of us could possibly imagine. It is no longer okay to believe in our limitations. And so we are going to be out and about a lot this spring. This is an amazing institution. We're not going to rest on our laurels. Our next steps are intentional and centered on excellence, like Catherine and the others said. And almost 2 years ago, we planted a flag that said on behalf of UT Tyler that our commitment will not change. East Texas needs us. We're going to show up every day and be a powerful resource. And if it's not us, who is going to do this work? They're counting on us. There's significant work ahead, but so is our capacity. I don't feel tired. I don't feel sad. I don't feel anxious. I don't feel worried, and I don't feel scared. I think together we're going to rise to meet the moments that present now and in the future, because truly this is a university worthy of students, patients, and the communities we serve. Thank you so much. Listen, we want your feedback. We're open to your questions and other things, and we'll look forward to doing this again soon and having more town halls. Thank you for coming today. And we're adjourned.